Hello and welcome to Imola for round 2 of the South African simGT Endurance Series. It's a BMW versus Ferrari battle, and Bashir Jadwat has drawn first blood by securing pole position. He shares the front row with Shadow Ghostworks Chris Brown. Jonathan Benz lines up in third position alongside Peter van Vuuren. Jason Holden-Jones in the HJ Motorsport entry starts from 5th position, ahead of the second of the Shadow Ghostworks Ferraris, Marcus Steyn. Row 4 is shared between Dante van der Merwe and Chris Einecke. Nazim Edwards for Nexus Racing starts from 9th position, alongside Mark Henbury for HRT. The Team Nexus RR BMW of Johan Nel starts from 11th, ahead of Gerda Smit in 12th. And Jastir Ragibe and Johannes Kutzer round up the field in 13th and 14th position respectively. But let's get right to it. The drivers are ready to start the race. The lights have come on. And we are racing at Imola once again. Bashir Jadwat is looking good to maintain his position at the front. Chris Brown very close behind indeed. It's a fan out for Dragado for the first time. Everybody seemed to survive the first couple of corners of the race. We head into Tosa for the first time. We're on board Peter van Vuuren, who has a late look at Jonathan Benz, but then decides to pull out of it wisely. Jonathan Benz trying to find a way through Chris Brown, and Brown is having nothing of it, hanging on to a P2. We approach the outer chicane for the very first time. Jonathan Benz again with another look at Brown. Just not quite close enough to pull up a move. Peter van Vuuren is right there in the Trigon Racing Ferrari. Van Vuuren hassling the BMW of Jonathan Benz during this opening lap. You see Peter van Vuuren coming through to conduct his drive-through penalty, which he was awarded for from the previous round at Silverstone for causing contact with Chris Brown. Benz knows that he needs to get past Chris Brown as soon as possible and get after his teammate before Jadwat disappears up the road. Benz with another look. Uphill towards Peritella. Benz very close to Brown. I do not know how he did not make contact with him. On board with Nazim Edwards in the number 26 Nexus Racing BMW. Chasing down Jason Holden-Jones in the black Ferrari. Benz still trying to find a way past Brown. Of course, the battle for second position is allowing Jadwat to disappear up the road. Jonathan Bentz's run wide at Villeneuve. Can Stein take advantage of that error? It's not quite close enough. Jonathan Bentz closes the door on him. Unfortunately, we already have one retirement, and then as Johannes Kotzen, the Red Bull goes to ex-BMW. The two Trigon Racing Ferraris running together after Van Vieren conducted his pit lane drive-through. It's a pity that drive-through penalty has compromised Peter Van Vieren's race. Showed exceptional pace in qualifying, and I think he would be right up fighting for the win at the moment. Chris Heineke trying to find a way past Jones in the black Ferrari. Good drive by Mark Henbury. Can he catch the slipstream behind Jones to pass him into Trigado? He's not quite close enough. using all of the track and more, running wide out of Ravazza too. Has slightly compromised the drive onto the main straight as we see Mark Henry catching up. Ferrari riding the curves very well. Peter van Vieren and Chris Heineke putting a lap on Dante van der Merwe. Does a good job of moving to the side. Henbury searching for a way past Jones. What can he do into the outer chicane? Jones runs deep. Yasti Ruggibear currently in 12th position for Phantom Ghostworks. But we are back with our race leader Bashir Jadwat in a commanding position at the moment. A solid 5-second gap back to second place man Chris Brown. Here he is. He's managed to fend off Jonathan Benz so far. Henbury piling on the pressure. Will Jones crack up the hill towards Peritilla. Henbury making his intentions known. He's got to run him into Minerali. What can he do around the outside? Jones defends. Henbury opts out of it. Looking for that better drive out of Minerali. Jones again's running deep and he makes an error. Through goes Henbury into 6th position. Jones succumbing from the continuous pressure from Henbury. Has finally cracked. Peter van Vieren with a sterling recovery drive after his pit lane drive-through penalty. Already up to 8th position and catching the 7th place battle between Jones and Henbury. Peter Smith in the second of the Trigon Racing Ferraris in 10th position. We are now with 12th place man Chris Heineke. The second of the HRT BMWs, he is chasing down the Zine Edwards in the Nexus Racing BMW. Chris Brown is pointing the wrong direction at Ravazza 2. Through goes Benson to second, Marcus to third. Hembury is also through, so has Jones. So Chris Brown has dropped down to 7th position after what looks like an error at Ravazza 2. Chris Brown will need to rebuild from 7th position. Just as he was beginning to catch Bashir Jadwat. Squadro goes to X. BMW is now running at the front in position 1 and 2. Edwards has a run on Johan and he passes him on the outside at the outer chicane. Wow, what a move. I'm quite sure how he pulled it off, but he did. Nazim Edwards moves up into 10th position. Brown now looking for a way past Jones. Up the hill towards Peritilla. Decides the move is not on and pulls out of it. Marcus Stone is now up into second position after Jonathan Bentz has completed his pit stop. Runs wide at Villeneuve, and that's all that Chris Brown needs to run past. Watching the Edwards train on board now with Johan Nel, the black team Nexus RR BMW, and he has got the slipstream effect on Edwards. But unfortunately not in position for a move at Tragada. Edwards very late on the brakes as well. Bentz runs wide. Through goes Nel, and Honeycutt's going to try to run around the outside. They make contact. Just swapping a bit of paint there. No harm done. Edwards peels off into the pits. Now moves up into 11th position. into the pits comes our race leader Bashir Jadwat. Will Marcus Steyn run a bit longer? Through goes Steyn into the race lead for the moment. Of course, he still has to do his mandatory pit stop, as Bashir Jadwat is doing now. Chris Brown into second and Jones into third. But Jadwat rejoins comfortably in fourth position. All going Jadwat's way at the moment with no traffic in front of him. Steyn 2 deciding to pit. Dante van der Merwe also in for his pit stop. Jones deciding to do at least one more lap. He goes to the front. Jones pits, Bashir Jadwat should comfortably regain the lead. Jonathan Baines maintains his position ahead of Mark Hembury. Remember, Baines pitted much earlier. And Jones comes in for his pit stop, and you see Jadwat in the background already. Jadwat is now back to the front with just 10 laps remaining. Marcus Steyn maintains his position after the pit stop stage. And looks to put a lap on Dante van der Merwe in the black BMW. Benz runs wide again in Villeneuve. And here comes Mark Hember. He's going to try and go around the outside 8 Tosa. But Benz fends him off. Full marks to Henbury for trying that. Better drive for Benz out of the outer chicane. Extends the gap back to Henbury. Here comes Chris Brown to add a bit of spice to the battle for third position, and so does Peter van Vuren. So the final podium position is nowhere near decided. Gerda Smit in 8th position in the number 51 Trigon Racing Ferrari. Nazim Edwards in 9th position. And now rounding up the top 10 so far, with Chris Heineke close behind him. Estia Ragibeni's first race in the GTE series, still learning his Ferrari. Gerda Smit going strong in 10th position. Hembury makes contact with Benz, then falls back, and unfortunately Chris Brown tags him and turns him around. And Brown immediately into the pits for that contact. And suddenly Peter van Vuren is up to 6th position. He takes 2 positions in just 2 corners. He's up into 4th position, I beg your pardon. Great recovery drive by Van Vuren. As I said before, if his race wasn't compromised by his penalty, I'm pretty sure he'll be right up there with Jadwa challenging for the win. Big slide by Jadwa out of the outer chicane. Chris Brown is once again behind Jones. Right on board now with Jones looking back at Chris Brown through Peritella down the hill towards the outer chicane. Want to get the car balanced before you turn right there. And then up the hill from Minerali towards the outer chicane. Big slide by Henry through Villeneuve. He hangs on to it though. Has not lost too much time to Van Vuren. The Jones-Brown battle rages on with just 5 laps remaining. Will Jones be able to successfully defend this time? An error by Jones out of the outer chicane allowed Brown through the last time. Bigger pardon, Jones ran wide of Villeneuve, and that's where Brown slipped through. Brown closes under braking for Dragado. Look at that. Brown looking a bit quicker through the faster corners as well. Where Jones seems to have better drive out of the slower corners. Seeming about equal through there. Brown again closes under braking for Tosa. Jones runs slightly wide but gets a better exit that way. Up the hill towards Tosa. Again Brown closes up. Minerali now. Lock up for Jones, doesn't compromise his exit too much. There you can see Jones' better exit out of the outer chicane leaves Brown behind for the moment. So interesting to see the two drivers using different setups. Having different strengths and weaknesses around the circuit. Marcus staying lowly in second position, but he won't mind, still having a lot of fun pitching it sideways. Just 2.5 laps left for Jadwat. Back on board with Jones, looking at Brown of course. So far Jones is holding his nerve well. Bear does a bit of farming. And what gets it sideways through Rabatsa. Jadwat uses a bit too much curve out of turn 2, but keeps it on the black stuff. And Jadwat not turning it down at all, he's going absolutely flat out towards the line, although he doesn't need to with such a commanding position ahead of Marcus Stone. Jadwat with such confidence through Minerali, flinging the car through the fast right-hander. Fantastic car control. Obviously, the Bashir Jadwat has started the final lap of the race. Just 2 corners left for Jadwat to take his first victory of the GTE series. Bashir Jadwat wins round 2 at Imola. Fantastic drive by him. That's the Rugby Bear comes across the line, lap down in 13th position. Pakistan is finished in 2nd position. And Jonathan Bentz will come through to secure the final podium position. What a recovery drive by Peter van Vuuren to finish in 4th position, just ahead of Mark Henbury. And Jason Holden-Jones has survived the onslaught from Brown to secure 6th position. 8th place will go to Johan Nel. Strong drive by him. Smith will finish in 9th. Nazim Edwards has finished in 10th position, ahead of Chris Heineck in 11th, and Yastir Rugby in 12th position. Well, that concludes round 2 at Imola of the South African simGT Endurance Series. Stay tuned for round 3 at the famous Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. We all look forward to that. Until then, cheers for now. Goodbye.